Hi, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Today, I'm going to talk about something that can probably help some people out. 'Cause for some reason, we're all out of these lands kind of just like living. And in reality, straight up, we didn't get a choice. We were kind of just put here. And we just have to, in reality, make the best of it. But there's one thing that I do know is something that is just easy for me to work with these dogs. And that's in the sense of, oh, guys, let's go back. In the sense of asking them what it is that they want. And then when I ask them what it is that they want, these dogs are cool because they just straight up tell me, hey, this is, I want to do this. Hey, I want to go do that. Hey, I want to go over here. Hey, I want to chew on that. Hey, I want to run after that. They're very just obvious and clear and straight up with what it is that they're looking for. And if you're asking those questions to the simple dog, you're gonna just have no choice but to make things get much, much better with you and that simple animal in your life. Because I believe it's something that, for whatever reason, we just don't ask that. What do you want? We just assume, or we just put upon, we read up some stuff to say, oh, this is what they like. This is what they care to do. You get on some dog toy subscription and say, oh, the dog's going to like me more because of this. You get on some food subscription, oh, my dog's going to like me more because of this. As opposed to just asking the dog what the dog wants. Because straight up, just every dog in reality that I've still worked for and worked with, it's interesting to say work for. That's what I feel like I do for my personal dogs is I work for them. And we work together, but there's times that I work for them, then they work for me. Right now, I'm working for them. And there's something that I just realized is all the extra is not necessary. The dogs are happy with just smelling something that you can't even see, you don't even understand. The dogs are happy with chewing on just a stick. The dogs are happy with just going for a simple walk. The dogs are just happy with the bare bones of nothingness in reality. They're happy with just being there and coming along. They don't need anything fancy. They don't need anything extra. It's almost like in reality, the more money you put into them, the worse of an experience you're going to end up getting, because you're almost going to have these like expectations of they got to treat me this way because of basically how much money I put into it. This is stuff that I just realized with my own, because I'm always asking them what do they want, not what I want, but what do they want. And then the next question to ask is, what do you want? I believe that's something that most, unfortunately, most people on this planet don't ever ask. And even if you do ask it, do you actually know what you want? Because why are you getting into relationships with a simple dog, with especially another human being? And if you don't know what you want, if someone says to you, what do you want? And you just come up with a blank, and you're like, something I hear so much today about what people say about dogs. I want a companion. I want companionship. And people also say that about relationships, when usually folks only say that when they're a little bit older in age. Usually a 20-year-old girl and guy isn't really saying, I'm looking for a companionship. They're looking for something, I think, differently. But when you're like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 115, you're looking for companionship. What does that mean? What does that look like? What are the expectations on what's going to happen here? I don't think that most people have any idea exactly what it is that they want. So that's why when you get into something, you start to stumble, because you start to make up what you want. You start to think about and figure out, how can I make that better for me, as opposed to just already knowing what's better for you and going out and seeking that. Man, I don't know why. That's a simple thing with, I totally understand today why folks just can't stay married. Why it's just a horrible situation. Why folks can't keep a relationship with a dog, with any animal in reality, but especially a dog. Because you're running into a sense of, you don't know at all what you're actually looking for. And then you get something without actually knowing what you're desiring. And then it's going to do nothing but just be a havoc to you. It's going to be chaos to you. This is why, for me, it's really hard for me to really just explain to somebody how to have a, like said, so-called nice dog. Because I know what I want. I want a dog to be able to go for walks out here with. So I got this German Shepherd. I want a dog that I can go for runs out here at this point. Not only just out here, but even street runs. Because she actually performs, this Dalmatian performs even better on the road for road races. I wanted that. That's all that I wanted. And this is what's cool about dogs. Same with humans. I say similar with humans. But dogs primarily, they don't want a lot. Again, they just, the less that you spend, the better off that you are. And they don't, the little that they do want, they will be an absolute blessing to you when you know what you're wanting from that dog. And you start working on that day after day after day to get what it is that you're looking for. Because the biggest thing is, since I know what I want, I know what I was looking for before I decided to get what I wanted. I was looking at all of these different dogs and all these different breeds and realizing none of them are a good, like said, pretty much every dog is good for hiking and stuff outside of just the size and then the distance that you plan on going. I'm doing long distances here. Like 12, like today, we're gonna walk about, I don't know, we'll probably end up doing about 16. The longest in a little while. The average dog can't do that. And most all dogs in reality can't do that. You gotta build them up to be able to do such a thing. So when I was looking for what I was looking for, I had to make a choice of which one's gonna work for this. I can't go out and get me a pug thinking I'm gonna come out here and walk for 10 miles. That would be ridiculous. So I have to realize what it is that I want so I can select what it is that's gonna work for what it is that I want. And then at the same time, select something that is also what they want. This is why I believe the concept of pairing up and having true companionship is amazing when you know what you want. Because you're gonna deny everything else that doesn't fit with what it is that you're looking for. I'm looking for a running dog. I'm not gonna go out and get myself, I don't even know what I would even get. Anything other than a dog that was specifically bred at some point in this gene line to just run 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 miles at a time. Any other dog wouldn't be a companion to me. It would just be a dog. And then we would have no issues because I'm not giving the dog what it wants. And when I'm not able to give the dog what it wants, I'm not gonna be able to get what I want. And then I gotta start to rearrange and change up and do different stuff to figure out how to be able to get this dog to work for me. And that's where you're really gonna have a big battle. You're just pretty much kind of always on edge. And this is in reality the same stuff that we do with like trying to find a human partners. We're out here saying what you want. You're looking at it, unfortunately, this is the biggest thing with dogs, is we're looking at it in a superficial way of what does it look like. I want that look. But that look may not be what you need. And you're just gonna be fighting with it. And it's not gonna be a companion to you. You need to go a lot deeper with understanding what it is that you're actually desiring. Because that's where I believe most folks mess up with a simple dog. And I mean, pretty much all relationships across the board in reality. You're worried about what it looks like. You do some work. You go into school to get a job because you like the status that it would give you. You like what it looks like, but you actually don't really like it because it's not what you want. What you want is something different. But what you want, more than likely, society is gonna have something to say about what it is that you want. They're gonna say, oh, that's not good enough for you, or that's not what you should be with. You're so much better than that. And they're gonna say all kinds of stuff like that to you. And that, in my opinion, is what really lets me know if I'm on the right path. When everyone around me is basically on some, I don't know about that, but yet it's actually bringing you joy. It's bringing you peace. It's bringing you your just desire inside that just fulfills you. That's what matters the most. Not what someone else has to say that's all the way across the world that's just looking from the outside. But you have to be able to figure out what it is that you're looking for. And a lot of people are just grabbing stuff based on just emotions and feelings and just spur of the moment. And that's where a lot of folks, unfortunately, getting jammed up with these dogs because there's another human out there that's putting pressure upon you of, you got to take this dog and the sad boohoo story, as opposed to, is it actually going to work with me? Because that's the same with, again, human-human relationship. Some girl or some guy's going to give you the sad story. This boohoo, my old boyfriend used to beat me, he used to this, he used to that, and you just get stuck in it. You get stuck because you just like kind of, I want to save you. I can help you. But that's not what you actually want to do in the end. You don't want to save anybody. You don't want to help anybody. You just want a companion that's going to be able to come along and work with you and be with you and be able to work in tune and in paired with you. Not that you have to do all this work to build it up and build it up and build it up to be able to get to a point that, oh, now it's finally good enough. Because unfortunately, when you keep building up to get to that point that it's finally good enough, you're more than likely not going to want it anymore. And or, this is a sticky situation with humans. Dogs, you could do this with. And they'll be your partner and your buddy forever. But humans, most cases, unfortunately, as soon as you build them up to a point, they gone. They're like, oh man, I appreciated you for everything that you done for me and everything that you gave me. I mean, some people aren't even appreciative of that. And they just leave. They gone. And they just say, you know what? It was fun while it lasted, but now since I'm in a good place, now I don't need you anymore. Now they just gonna take off. That's just devastating in reality. But again, you're not choosing what it is that you're putting yourself around because you don't know what you want. That's something that we all should just stop and even like get back to some old pen and paper and just write down a list of what do you want? What are you looking for? I mean, with everything in your life, everything in your life. You should say, you know what? I really want to, man, a good thing that I could just recommend to every single person. I don't care where you are. No, there's only a very slim people that this isn't going to apply to. But a good thing for all of us to go ahead and write down on that list to say, hey, I want to lose a little weight. What is it going to take for me to do that? Does that mean that I'm going to have to eat some more? Does that mean I'm going to have to change what I eat? Does that mean I need to exercise some? That means I need to exercise a little less? What does that mean for me to be able to get to the point that that's something that I want? And that's a part of the big thing that unfortunately, I talk to so many people and I don't know why. Like the whole concept of goal setting is like something that a lot of folks just don't understand. You got to know what you want so that you could make a goal to be able to get what you want and not and be able to have something to be able to like look at day by day, week by week, month by month, and then year by year. And then for some of us, you go deep with your goals like I do. It's decade by decade. Where am I this decade compared to last? Where am I this month compared to last? What am I doing that I said that I wanted to be doing, that I really care to do, that for some reason I'm not doing? And so I have to get back on track with what it is that I'm looking for because I want to stay in tune with what it is that I want and not go down this path of doing stuff that is taking me away from what it is that I should be doing. Because there's the biggest problem that we have is we have days that things are just great. And then days that things are kind of just like, man, I don't know what's going on. Because I had one of those days, or I'm in the middle of one of those days right now. I don't know how he's going to act later on. But this is the first time in, I don't know how long, my shepherd, he saw this crazy dog along the way. And my boy kind of just looked at him and got a little happy-footed on him, dancing around and going back to his old ways. One day out of, I don't know, it's been, if I had to put a number on that, I'd say it's been at least 500, 600, 700 days. He hasn't done anything like that. It's been well over 2 years. And I have to be able to look at that and then be able to say, am I going backwards? Are things getting worse? Or is there just a time that you're getting a little off track and you have something that comes into your face that tells you, okay, this is what we need to do so we can get right back on track again? Something that, for whatever reason, I don't know why. I think this is one of the biggest problems why I see that people are struggling with these dogs is because you don't know what you want. And you're quick to allow someone to just tell you what you want, as opposed to you standing up for your own self saying, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want things to be. This is how dog training has infiltrated, I think that's the word, all of society today. Because they're the ones out here telling you what it is that you want and not allowing you to be able to say what you're looking for. And the more that they're telling you what you want, you're going to keep doing that. And then in the end, you're not going to have the said companionship that you're actually looking for, that you were actually desiring in the beginning, because you're not going to be matched up correctly with what it is that you're looking for. This is the thing that someone can say, I don't believe this, but someone could say, you can make a great relationship with any dog and any person. I don't believe that that's true. I believe that each one of us has our own wants and our own desires. And when we compare those two together, that's going to give you the amazing experience that you're looking for. For me, I like these two dogs because they like to do what I like to do. I don't know why. I somehow got a shepherd that just likes to sniff and walk outside of doing anything else that shepherds like to do. Chase animals and move stuff and do things like that and bark at people too much. And he just likes to sniff and walk. I like to just walk and walk. So there's something about that if I gave him to someone else that doesn't do a lot of walking, you're not really going to get that like great level of success, I just say. And this is something that for some of us, we need to, sorry, this part's going to be a little challenging. I'm going to try to walk through this. It's a super hill here. But denying and holding back and realizing that don't just jump into something because of how you feel in the moment. If you get this feeling in you that's like, I should do it, you should just stop and hold on a second and think, why? And what's going to happen from this? Because that's where I believe a lot of this stuff with these dogs are getting worse and worse and worse throughout the years. We see a dog, it looks cute, it looks sad, it looks whatever. I want to save it. And I'm going to say something that someone may not like right now, but whatever. Maybe you should just leave that dog there and don't even worry about it anymore, because it may not be the one for you. And if you take it, you may have taken the dog that was meant for someone else. Because at the end of the day, there are an unlimited amount of these animals out here for us to be able to have and be able to work with. But if you just take it because of how you feel in the moment, you're more likely taking something that you shouldn't be around. And especially, this is the interesting thing of the shelter system and all this, is to foster the dog to see, is this dog for me? And don't feel bad and don't feel guilty and don't feel wrong if you're like, it's not. Because some dogs are just not for you because it's not your companion. That's all that dogs are in reality going to be in the future for us. We don't need them to do work for us anymore. We need them to just be a partner with us, a partner of wanting to do the same stuff together. And if you got yourself a dog that loves to run and chase and get it, and you like to sit down on the couch and hang out, you're going to be fighting with that animal for the next 15 to 20 years. And worst case, that dog might live to 25 years on you, and you're just going to be living in just, I can't stand this dog stance year after year, trying to force it to do something because you didn't ask that question up front of, what do you want? And then also asking that dog, what does it want? And that's the biggest thing with, I see, is why human-to-human relationships are leading to divorce like crazy. We're so quick to jump into something because it makes you feel a certain way in the beginning, as opposed to asking, what are you looking for in 30 years? Who are you? What type of person you are? You know, I personally run into lots of issues with a lot of girls in reality, straight up, because I'm on the go. I like to go and go and make stuff happen. And I end up with girls that are just like, oh, let's just watch 8 movies tonight. Let's hang out. I just can't do that. So me, I just know this in my own personal life. Obviously, a lot of what I talk about is from my personal life. You got to fail a lot before you can start to figure out what's actually going to work. I failed so much with human relationships that I had to do a whole redo, start over. And I've been able to find that with working with these dogs. A whole redo of really paying attention to what it is that is going to work for me. Because in reality, like this Dalmatian, there was many, at least 100 of them that I talked to and asked questions about. And I chose this one because it was the one that paired with me. She's crazy. She runs like just insane. She doesn't know how to just lay and settle down and just sit. And I'm like, that's me. That's my dog. That's my companion right there. That's why at the end of the day, right now, she is my most favorite, the one that's paired with me. We do everything together. I mean, we go everywhere together. She's always with me. I'm cooking, she's with me. I'm sitting, she's with me. I'm running, she's with me. Whatever I'm doing, she's with me, because that's what she also likes to do. And I slowed down because there was many that I was like, oh, that's the one I'm looking for, because they said looked better. And they had this like different look to them. I'm like, wow, that's a pretty looking dog. And if I would have chose that and not paying attention to who it was, I could end up in a very disastrous situation in reality, wanting something and not actually able to do because we're not together. We're not the same. And that's what's crazy, that we do that with human-to-human relationships and not paying attention to let's wait this out. Let's see who you are, see what's going on here, see what's happening before you just jump into stuff. You just jump straight into it. And that's why for me, that's why I dig deep with really trying to do as much as I can. I'll never be perfect, but understanding certain things that the Bible kind of just talks about us just not to do. That's for me. I stay away from doing a lot of stuff with a lot of people because it can mess you up. It could put you in a situation that you start to have these, what do you call it, blinders on, that someone is able to deceive you because you think something is a way, and then you find out in the end it isn't, and then you're really just you're in a sticky situation. And that's something that is crazy, because we talk about that same thing with dogs, talking about the wait guys, talking about the whole honeymoon stage of the dog. Wait, Ophi, the whole honeymoon stage that the dog acts away once you get it from the shelter, then after some time it starts to reveal and be itself. That's true, because you're sitting there looking at it and trying to make it be something that it isn't. And then one day, which is cool about dogs, is they're going to just show that out and be themselves. And they've been themselves since the moment that you got them. But you weren't paying any attention to who they were, because you were still in this like, oh, they're new and they're brand new, and they were so scared in the shelter, and I finally got them out and now they're good to go. And now they're acting a way that you're just like, I don't really like this dog. No, you didn't like it the second that you saw it. It just got in your feeling, it got in your emotions. It got you to just react. And that's why you ended up with it. Because again, you didn't know what you wanted. You just like, I want dog. This is something that I would hope that more people can educate more people about what it actually means to, I want dog. You don't just take any dog, just like you don't just take any girl or guy to be married to. You don't just take any. And that's the thing that is weird about these specific animals. I give you any donkey in reality. I can give you any pig that you want. I can give you any chickens that you want. Those are different. These dogs are very fascinating, because if you're not paired with them, you're going to be, in reality, straight up fighting with them. And it comes down to, what do you want? What do you want? What are you looking for? What do you do that this dog is going to, because being a companion is being a complement to your life. How are they going to complement your life to make your life be better? And once you're able to find that, then you're like, hey, I see what's going on here. And this is the part that a lot of folks are struggling with right now. I'm sorry to say this. I'm struggling with the same stuff with my own dogs at the end of the day. Having a dog that you really doesn't really complement you, that y'all are just completely different. And now you just have to straight up just deal with it. You just got to deal with it. Unless you can find someone that dog complements as well, and then say, hey, I need to rehome this dog to you. That's how I got my Dalmatian. Her and her first owner, they didn't get along. They didn't get along at all. They're just fighting and battling and bickering and having problems, more than likely. But then she came to me and she's like, we're good to go. So that was a rehoming that most of us shouldn't feel bad about or have anything negative to say about, rehoming a dog, knowing that it's just not working with you. It isn't. And there's, in reality, straight up, nothing you can do to change other than change yourself to adapt to what that dog is. And then you're going to be able to run into a semi-decent situation. But most cases, you're not going to be able to do that long term. You're going to run into the problem of just burning out, is the word I guess I say. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna get sick of it, and then you might even start to reject it even more after that point. But it's something that everyone needs to, especially the next, I don't know what it is, when someone has a dog, you're just like, I need another one. You got two, and you're like, I need a third. And the first two are a hot mess already. And I don't know why you just want to keep getting more. But the big thing is, you need to understand, why do you want more? What are you looking for? Because you can't just keep guessing, throw it out there and just keep trying to see what happens. No, you got to strategically put a plan together and say, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm wanting. This is what I need. And go and look for that exact thing that you're looking for. Not just, oh, it looks like this is what I want. Why are we doing that in these lands? And why has that become the normal? That you'll drive a car that you can't stand because of the way it looks. You'll do some work. You can't stand it. But you're like, I like the doctor label, but you can't stand your work. And you're out there doing it. Why do we do that? Because you're just straight up just never going to be fulfilled. Because you're doing something based on what it looks like as opposed to what it does for you. Thank you. I don't know what it is, but I know what it is. On why a lot that I'm sitting here just walking and thinking and doing what I'm doing. I love just walking in silence out here. I like running in silence, walking in silence. I just like being in silence for most of my days lately, because YouTube has been really upsetting me. Just talking the same old mess over and over again. Like, let's get on with life. Let's go do something. Let's go make something happen. Let's go build something. Let's create something. Let's just stop talking, because I even hit the do not recommend on all my channels all the time. And what comes back again is the same mess. Oh, Trump did this. Trump said that. Oh, Harris did this and Harris did that. And Biden's doing this and Putin's doing that. I'm like, holy crap, people. Holy crap. Like, let's do something. Instead of just sitting back and whining and complaining and crying about what's going on over there. Let's focus a little bit on what we actually can do. What we actually have the means to be able to make some things happen. And the more I just keep on walking and doing what I'm doing every day and running and making it happen, I just realize how it is really hard for me to kind of say, hey, if you do this, everything is going to be perfect in your life. Because I've done a lot of delayed gratification to get what it is that I have at this moment in my life. I never just do just because. I wait it out. I think it over. I process it. I'm wondering what's happening, what's going to come from it. I do a lot of processing to know, should I actually do this? Especially with these dogs. I don't just see a dog in the shelter and just say, oh, boo-hoo, it's so sad. Let me go take it. They may sound harsh, but what is harsh is if I take that dog and we're just fighting and I don't actually show it any sort of love because I can't stand it because of how it acts and how it treats me. That's not a that's a horrible way to live. And that's why for me, when I see random dogs all the time, I just tell them to keep it pushing, buddy. Keep it going. Keep it going. You'll find the person that's looking for you, because we're not together right now. I'm not paired up with you. I gotta investigate, see, understand you, work with you a little bit, ask more questions about you before I can even figure out like what I want to do here. And even when I think that I want you, I still don't take it. I still wait. I still sit. I still just hold back just to see. Because sometimes when you, especially this gets sticky with human-to-human relationships, because sometimes when the other one knows that you're excited and ready to go, then things start to change. So I'm gonna say, hey, I'm ready to go, but yeah, let's still wait it out to see what they're gonna do. Because if they go into this like, you better hurry it up. Why haven't you, like straight up, I hear this from a lot of young guys, girls say it to guys all the time. Why don't you marry me yet? As soon as you go into that, it's, oh, I'm done at this moment. Like straight up, I'm walking away from this. Because why are you trying to rush that so much? Why don't we just live? Why are you trying to make it happen so badly? That means that you're not really in this to be my companion. You're in this just to control, dictate, and take and consume, basically. Not really here to see the best in. You're just here to see the best in your own self, because that's why you want it right now, so that you can go ahead and just be who you are, because you can't keep on this show anymore. Just little things that I think you just start to understand when you keep getting older and older. This is why I always give a recommendation, especially to a lot of my, I don't like using this word, but it's the best way of saying it. A lot of my older people that watch my videos, because I'm considered older compared to my kids, but my parents are considered older than me. Like folks my parents' age, all in your 60s, approaching your 70s, like start making videos of stuff that you just have learned on these lands, because the younger people need it. They need it. They don't want it. They need it. They need to hear. They need to understand that sometimes you just have to live to figure out some things. You just have to go through a horrible experience just to be able to understand what's going on. You can't like read about it. You can't really hear about it. But hopefully we can say something to someone one day that they can hear a story of saying, yeah, I see what he's saying, and they don't have to go down that route. You can say to someone of, you know, that sports betting, it may not be the best for you. For that guy over there, it might be fine, but for you, it may not be for you. So maybe you should think about why you want to do that. And why you want to go to that school. Why do you want to take that job? Why do you want to be in a relationship with that girl? Why do you want to do everything that you want to do? And really have to sit down and answer that question and write it out. And then when you decide what you do want, you start to make goals about that. It's stuff that we all need to be able to communicate to each other. That life, living, just being alive does something. It does something that gives a level of authority in reality because of what it is that you've actually experienced. That's why for me, you're wondering about dogs that fight in the house, like I experienced that. You're worrying about dogs that are trying to bite other dogs' face off when you take them in public, I've experienced that. Dogs that were so scared that they wouldn't even take a leash. I've dealt with that. Like I've had those in my home type dealt with, not some I did a 2-week board and trade with a dog. No, I'm living with it, and it's challenging. It's challenging. It's really hard. There's a lot behind it, and it's something that if you haven't lived it, it's hard to like talk about how to have a solution for it. And there's so many people out here that they got all the answers, but they've never actually like lived it. You don't know what it's like to be in a house that the tension is so high that you're scared that you're going to get bit, and you've already been bit because your dogs are fighting. It's one thing just showing up to the house and talking to people about it, as opposed to being the one that has the scar and the stitches on your arm right now. It's a whole different way of life.